Yo, what's up? Just capping out a couple games tonight. We are still on schedule for the next episode of The Source to meet tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. For now, I'm just capping out two games real quick. First is Knicks versus Bucks in Milwaukee. Let's cap it out.
Welcome to The Source. Hey, get the source. The Source. The Source. Hey, get the source.
All right, let's get started. So obviously the first step, we run the numbers through the spreadsheet. For the analytics, I used NBAstuffer.com, and I used last 5 games as a sample size. And according to the numbers, Milwaukee should be favored in this game by 7.7 points. So we're gonna round that down to 7.5. Let's finish out our cap and see what we come up with. All right, first up, let's talk injuries. Bucks haven't had any significant injuries, but Giannis did miss 1 game. So for that, we're gonna move it 1 point because he is the most important player on the court, one of the most important players in the entire league. So the analytics are missing 1 game of Giannis. Let's move it 1 point towards the Bucks, which brings us to Milwaukee minus 8.5. Now on the Knicks side, the Knicks have had a few injuries here and there, but one big one, Derrick Rose has been away from the team for a while now. I think he may come back for this game, so we have to incorporate that into our cap. He is an important part of the Knicks offense, more important than people realize. If you just look at the box score, you won't get the whole picture. That offense runs smoother when Derrick Rose is at point. He controls the tempo. He makes sure the right guys get the touches. I'm telling you, when he's bringing the ball up, the whole unit looks more like fluent. I feel like that's the right word. You might not know what I'm talking about. If you're a fellow Knicks fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So if Rose is playing in this game, I'm going to move the line 2.5 whole points back towards the Knicks. And he is that important of a piece. That seems like a big move. I'm telling you, that's about right. So that brings us all the way back to Milwaukee minus 6. So how do these two teams match up on the court? Well, the Bucks offense, we already know what it is. It's been the same thing for several years now, a few years now. Giannis causes you to bring an extra defender over, which spreads the whole court out for the shooters. So what do you think about when you think about the Bucks offense? You think about Giannis, right? So do I. So does everyone. But actually, the Bucks offense is pretty reliant on the 3-point shot. If you took the Bucks offense and made like a pie chart, yeah, there'd be a pretty big slice for Giannis, but there'd be a huge slice for 3-point shooting. They're in the top 5 of the league of attempted 3-point shots, 3-point shots made, 3-point percentage. The 3-point shot is a huge part of that offense. Why is that important in this game? Oh, I don't know. The Knicks are the best team in the league at defending the 3-point shot. Now, am I saying the Knicks are going to come out and shut the Bucks down? No. The type of defense the Knicks play could be the worst nightmare for the Bucks offense. So I'm going to move the line 2 whole points back towards the Knicks because I truly feel like this is an advantage for the Knicks. That brings us down to Milwaukee minus 4. Next thing I'm going to touch on is going to be what kills the Knicks in this game, and that's pace of play, man. The Bucks run the fastest game of basketball in the entire NBA. Most possessions per game, Bucks. Fastest, up and down the court, fastest in the league. Knicks run one of the slowest games in the NBA. The Knicks don't want to push the ball. They don't want to run the floor. They don't even have the pieces to do that. The Knicks want a slow, half-court, grind-it-out type of basketball game. That's what they're built for. A lot of Julius Randle isolation, high-pressure defense on the perimeter. That's what the Knicks do. They can't run with the Bucks. They are out of their comfort zone when the game's going fast like that. When the game's on, you'll see Thibodeau like slow it down. This isn't our game. The Bucks could potentially run the Knicks out of the gym with this. Now the Knicks are going to do their best to slow the game down, but they're not going to be able to. Few teams can. In Milwaukee, no one can slow this team down. So I'm going to move the line 5 whole points back to the Bucks for this. So we're all the way up at Milwaukee minus 9 now. See, this is the type of game where pace of play is really important for handicapping a basketball game. If one team is put at a serious disadvantage by a certain speed of play, like in this game. All right, one more thing to cover before we close this one out is rest days. Bucks just finished the game about an hour ago. Back-to-back, no rest days. The Knicks are rested. Thing is, they're both home games for the Bucks. There's no travel. When it's back-to-back home games, it's really like minimal fatigue issues. So I'll move the line a half point for the Knicks, but I don't think it's going to be a huge issue. So that brings us to Milwaukee minus 8.5. One last thing before we finish. The analytics that I just used to cap this game don't include the Celtics game that just ended. And the Bucks looked awful. So let's go ahead and shave 2 points off the Bucks. Bring it down to Milwaukee minus 6.5 because the Bucks they got beat up by the Celtics tonight. So our final cap is Milwaukee minus 6.5. I don't know where the books are at. The books aren't fully opening yet, so I can't tell you which way I'm leaning.
So right after I finished recording this, the books did open, and the consensus line is currently at Milwaukee -10. So with our cap at -6.5, I'm definitely leaning Knicks at this point.
Be sure to check out tomorrow's episode of The Source, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I will finalize this pick, as well as finalize all my picks for the night. Tomorrow, uploaded to YouTube, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I will see you then. Source out.